You're listening to Civic Media. You can tune into any of our live shows on any radio station across the state with the Civic Media app. Find us in your phone's app store and listen anytime, anywhere.
Good morning and welcome to Matt Nair on Air. Jane Matt Nair, Greg Bach, and Calvin Beatnoff coming to you live from our home here at Radio Park in Racine. You can always join us. You can call or text. The number is the same at 855-752-4842 or leave a comment if you're watching on the live stream on Facebook, YouTube, and what used to be Twitter. He joins us every Friday at this time, creator of the multi-award-winning Recombobulation Area and also Civic Media's political editor. Dan Schaefer is here. Good morning.
Happy Friday, Jane. Happy Friday, Greg. Always wonderful to join you here on Matt Nair on Air.
Glad to have you in studio. By the way, we do know now that the Brewers will be hosting the Cubbies tomorrow.
How you doing, Greg?
I can't function.
He's riddled with anxiety.
You're wearing the Brewers gear. You're ready for the weekend. The Cubbies are coming to town.
Why do you hurt me with every word you say?
It was stating facts.
It was such a You're right. You are an award-winning journalist, and facts are your stock and trade. It's also the problem that I wore a hoodie today with no backup plan, and it's very warm. So I feel like I'm being hugged by a gnat right now because I'm just like, yeah, this is Trump is terrible. Yeah,
you're in a slow cooker of sorts here.
Yeah. Brewers and the Cubbies tomorrow. Our broadcast starts at 12:35. The first pitch will go out at 1:05. You can listen to the game, but you have to listen on terrestrial radio. So among the Civic Media stations that will be carrying the game, WRCE in Richland Center, WISS in Oshkosh, WCQM in Park Falls, WBZH in Hayward, and here in Racine and Kenosha on WRJN. So Brewers and Cubbies tomorrow. Our broadcast will start at 12:35. Dan, we're going to start off with some spry 83-year-old.
Governor's race 2026, Wisconsin.
Now flirting with jumping into the Wisconsin governor's race. Tommy Thompson must be lonely or bored or something.
Can it be both, Jane?
Could be both.
Well, I'm pulling up the headline here. The Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel reported yesterday, Tommy Thompson, the former longtime Wisconsin governor, seriously considering another run in 2026. I guess we're going through this cycle again.
Apparently so.
Because a few months ago, he hadn't ruled it out.
Yes.
That was I haven't ruled it out. And I felt like that came with a big wink, like, I just want a headline today. So
yes.
Now it's come to this.
Tommy Thompson, the former governor, considering another run. Now, let's recall that Tommy Thompson has not served in Wisconsin in elected office since 2001 when he joined the first term of George W. Bush's administration. He ran for Senate in 2012 and lost to Tammy Baldwin. That was 13 years ago.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Tommy Thompson is 83 years old. He is 10 years older than Tony Evers. He is older than Joe Biden.
And Donald Trump.
How long was he governor? He was governor for not even 16 years because he did 4 terms, but he left in the middle of his 4th term.
1987 to 2001.
He has been out of office as governor longer than he was actually in office as governor. So that also, all of these pieces here, I personally just feel like there's going to be someone who walks up to him and says, "You're not doing this."
And I think it's clear that he's obviously not going to be doing this, right? This is just a headline grab. He's not really considering that he's running for governor. It's just like he likes to play this game, I think.
So he
did an interview on WTMJ and said this, and I think he just likes to goof around with the press. He likes to say these things, and it's going to get a headline because he's Tommy Thompson. It's going to get a headline.
Please call me and interview me. I'm bored.
I'm available. Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing too. If he put himself out to one of the news networks, whether it was one of the talk news networks, and say, "Hey, I'd love to be a regular contributor, or write a story, or be a monthly guest to talk about what's going," I think many of those stations would hop at the opportunity.
That's a great point.
Sure.
And there are so many ways of staying in the spotlight, in the headlines, rather than every 4 months going, "You never know, man."
Yeah.
I might.
You have to wait and see. It's you're right. It's funny because when I read, because a few months ago it was hasn't ruled it out, and we sat here like we are today, saying, this is dumb. And now he's saying, seriously considering. And I think when I listen to you talk, I'm like, yeah, you're right. Grandpa's just having some fun because Grandpa gets headlines.
He's just goofing around with this. This is
goofy old
very
Tommy.
unserious, but I guess it leads to Journal Sentinel headlines, so he can stay in the mix. And I think he also, he was very instrumental in Tim Michels being the candidate 4 years ago, and he has, like, not fully, but he has a little bit of this kind of kingmaker. Wants to be wants to be the guy pulling the strings in the background, wants to be the guy who's very involved in this kind of stuff.
It didn't work out so well last time.
It didn't work out so well for Tim Michels.
No.
And I think I actually talked to Tommy Thompson on the floor of the RNC last year, right after J.D. Vance's speech, and he was very effusive in his praise of J.D. Vance's speech at the RNC and all of that. I think he was there front row in the Wisconsin seats at the VP's speech.
Right.
Like he's very much wants to be in the mix for Wisconsin stuff, and he's earned that, right? I mean,
he wants to be a mover and shaker again.
Yeah.
But the question I have, and I feel like you can answer this better than anyone in the room, because you move in those halls where you're reporting the story, so you're talking to all sorts of people. If Tommy Thompson really wanted to be a mover and shaker and a kingmaker and all of those things, he would have been in Wisconsin and more visible. Reince Priebus and Robin Voss you can say they are kingmakers. They are the people who hold they are the ones who can push the ship of the Wisconsin GOP if they wanted to.
Reince is holding a fundraiser in Milwaukee with Tom Tiffany tonight.
$20,000 for the Platinum Edition.
Yeah. All the big movers and shakers are coming.
But it feels like Tommy Thompson does more of the. It's less about wanting to do the work. He just wants the recognition, and him thinking he's a kingmaker because of Tim Michels. Like, yeah, you picked a loser, and you've been out of office for a very long time. But we don't see you kind of operating in I don't see you around a lot. And a person who wants to be in power is
you're out there shaking hands like Tom Tiffany was at the state fair.
He really wants us to think he's from Wisconsin now. Like, he really wants us to think he's of Wisconsin, Tom Tiffany, with that hat and that farming look. Love it.
And he can hold a fish.
So, yeah, I mean, I guess
one of the main qualifications for being governor in Wisconsin.
Apparently so.
According to some in conservative media.
Yeah, you got to be able to hold a fish.
Yeah.
If you're just joining us on Matt and Aaron Air, we're talking to Dan Schaefer, who is the political editor of Civic Media, as well as the founder of the Recombobulation Area. Always break down the news on Friday. Always happy to have him here. And we're talking about serious considerations for the governor's race of 2026. Now, that is a fun headline to talk about. There was another candidate who did enter the race.
Which race? I'm
governor's
losing
race.
track.
You're
Are
right.
we doing governor's race?
In the governor's race, we have another
We get a
candidate.
new announcement for some sort of campaign every single day.
It's true.
Which, if you subscribe to Civic Media Today, you've been hearing it. You've been seeing us read all about it. Hey, how about that for a plug?
Dan, how does someone get Civic Media Today is it in their inbox?
In their inbox. You can subscribe to Civic Media Today on Substack.
Oh, wonderful.
It's absolutely free, just like the app. How many plugs can we work into this riff
We're
here
doing
that
good.
I'm on?
We're
doing
going to
well.
hit a new record.
So governor's race. Missy Hughes was the latest Democrat to launch her campaign for governor, launching it as, I believe, the kind of the first line of the ad that she launched was a Democrat that understands the economy. And I think that is the angle that she's going to take, as the previous job that she held, resigned just a couple weeks ago before launching her campaign, was as the CEO and secretary of the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation, a position she's held since 2019. Prior to that, she was an executive at the Wisconsin-based company Organic Valley for 17 years. And so I think she's going to talk about that private sector experience. She's going to be talking about that experience at the WEDC. And I think there is kind of an underexplored story with the WEDC more generally, because under Scott Walker, it was constantly in the news for allegations of corruption and pay to play and mismanagement. And they went through a whole bunch of different leaders and throughout Scott Walker's 2 terms as governor. Well, Missy Hughes has been kind of that role, stabilizing that organization for the past 6+ years here. And I think there is a story to be told about the turnaround of that, where it's not just throwing big bucks at Foxconn, where it was, having
Small
much more
businesses.
a Main Street small business focus for what that organization's been doing.
And I just think it's an important reminder for folks. Because again, especially when it comes to the COVID years, we tend to have collective amnesia and forget all the things that happened during those 2 years. Wisconsin's small businesses did much better than many, many other states in the country.
Yes.
Much better.
Wisconsin was in certain ways a leader, a national leader in those shepherding those economic development funds to Main Street and small businesses. And I think, that's a big, feather in her cap for all of this. And I think just like the larger turnaround, like they were under Walker, like I was a business news reporter at the time. So the WEDC was always in the news, and there was just like always, they had this thing that went wrong and that thing that went wrong and this leader that resigned and that leader that got fired and this pay-to-play allegation and all of that. And we just haven't had like that type of environment around the WEDC at the same time under Hughes. And I think, she's part of the Evers administration, so she will talk about that. And there's a lot going on there.
That's so interesting.
Oh, boy, here comes sarcasm.
I'm just side-by-side comparisons. It's just,
Well, and I think the other thing people should understand too and remember is that before Scott Walker, we didn't have a WEDC. We had a Department of Commerce that he closed down and created the WEDC because what do Republicans love more than holding onto their money? Privatization. And this shows that a governor coming in who knows how to put the right people in charge can stabilize a corporation that we didn't need in the first place when you think about it. But now we do. We have it. So that's it. So, I mean, that's something that, the Missy Hughes story on top of the Scott Walker story on top of the fact that we collapsed an entire department because they just wanted to, which kind of is what they're doing now in the national level.
I think that would be a really great story.
The side-by-side
The
WEDC.
side-by-side,
yeah,
yes.
for sure.
That would be fascinating.
Yeah. It's.
Are you assigning me a story, Jane? Is
I'm
that what
just
you're
saying,
looking at me
if
like?
you have
That would be a great story. Are you busy? Do you have anything going on?
It would be great if you. I have a great.
You can squish that.
It sounds like when people say, like, Greg, I have a joke you should use. Okay, so here's the deal. And I'm like, no!
I do want to share this on the live stream. Blue Gold 94 says, I agree Tommy Thompson wants to be in the mix. The scary part is he doesn't care whether or not it's in a positive way. Yeah. He just wants to be in the spotlight again.
Yes.
He misses it. Misses it.
And it's unfortunate, too, because the level of regard that man has in this state, I mean, I always compare him to the Ronald Reagan of Wisconsin. People look at him with such great admiration. He could have been a great booming voice for GOP and conservative values, but unfortunately, to be a part of the GOP now, you cannot be the Tommy Thompson of then.
Yeah, a lot of folks forget that when the whole stadium thing was going on and funding the stadium and Tommy Thompson said, yeah, let's stick it to Milwaukee. I remember that.
Oh, yeah.
I think a lot of people forgot that.
People have short memories.
Yes, they do, and we're here to remind you.
And if Tommy Thompson wants to relive old glory, he should just pull up his speech at Lambeau Field when he was clearly hammered, speaking at the 50-yard line of the Packers Super Bowl celebration. Do you guys remember that one?
No!
Oh, man, it's a classic. You should pull that up on YouTube.
We'll have to look for
clearly is a few old fashions deep talking about the Packers. It's wonderful.
I love this team. We have a little break coming up, and we're going to continue recombobulating with Dan Schaefer, Civic Media's political editor. Stay close. You are listening to Matt Nair on Air on the Sober Civic Media Radio Network.
You're listening to Civic Media. Stay up to date on the latest news and information for your local community and Wisconsin by signing up for our free email newsletter. Visit civicmedia.us/email to get started.
Good morning and welcome back to Matt Nair on Air. Jane Matt Nair, Greg Bach, Calvi Teeny on the board, coming to you from our studio at Radio Park in Racine. Join us, call or text at 855-752-4842. Leave a comment if you're watching on the live stream on Facebook, YouTube, and what used to be Twitter. Join Todd Alba later on today from 2 to 4 p.m. Pam Yankee, our friend, the fabulous farm babe. And director of the Midwest Farm Report. She's going to be joining Todd from the World Dairy Expo in Madison and talk about our farmers.
And she's on the show next week.
She is, yes. Pam Jahnke's going to be joining us as well. But join Todd today from 2 to 4. Don't forget, he'll have another keyword for you in our final day of the multi-state Go for the Green and Gold Text to Win contest.
And she always calls you kiddo.
She does.
She calls you kiddo, and
which
I
is
love
so
it.
adorable.
Yeah.
It's so I think we're the same age.
How you doing, kiddo? And she's one of those people. She's one of those. If she called me sweetie or sweetheart, I'd be like, that's right. That makes sense.
I take that from her.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
you just-
I love Pam Yonke.
Yeah, she's fabulous. So she will be joining Todd today at 2:35. Make sure you check that out. He joins us every Friday at this time. Civic Media's political editor and also the creator of the multi-award-winning Recombobulation Area, Dan Schaefer, is here. Before we went to the break, we were talking about Tommy Thompson, now kind of flirting a little more openly with potentially jumping into the governor's race. He's just lonely. But we were talking about his appearance when the Packers won the Super Bowl.
I showed these guys a YouTube video that I would encourage all of you to go check out.
I had completely forgotten about that.
But go look up Tommy Thompson 1996 Packers Super Bowl. They had an event at Lambeau, and he gives a speech, and he is really sounding like a true Wisconsinite who is celebrating and enjoying himself with a few beverages.
He had a couple.
He sounds fine at first, and then he hits one word, and you're like,
Oh, dear.
there it is.
Troy from Mount Horeb texting in. I was at the stadium for that. Tommy Thompson said it was because of the cold.
Oh, yes.
And it was unbelievably cold that day.
Yes.
I remember that. It was brutal. It was brutally cold. But yeah, no, Tommy.
I've lived here my whole life, and I've not been able to speak because
Not
of
been
the
that cold.
He was having a couple beverages to warm himself up. You
Exactly.
know? Yeah.
So you know why I pulled you over? Because it's cold and my driving's bad.
What else is going on in the world of Wisconsin?
Lots going on. Where do we even start with all of the stuff that's happening? I feel like we have this segment to recombobulate on the news of the week, and I'm going to leave today discombobulated because there's so much happening with the shutdown. You were talking about this before. The President Trump's spiritual advisor.
This is going to get skipped.
Yeah.
Because again, and we've talked about this a couple times this week, there is so much news on a daily basis.
Avalanche of news.
It's really difficult to prioritize what we should cover because we have a limited period of time. And a lot of things, I think, end up flying under the radar just because there is so much. I think this is important. Robert Morris, this from NBC News. Robert Morris, who was Donald Trump's one of his spiritual advisors, Texas megachurch pastor, pleads guilty to sexually abusing a child. Under a plea agreement, he was given 10 years. He's going to serve 6 months.
Yep.
He started assaulting this girl when she was 12. She was 12.
But Jane, it's not always. There's more to the story than that. He's got a story to tell. He's got thoughts on why this happened.
Well, his lawyer in 2007 wrote a letter suggesting the victim bore responsibility for the inappropriate behavior between her and Morris when she was a child. She was 12.
I really think that
it's so infuriating.
Yeah.
This happens.
This is, and what was the sentence you said?
He got 10 years.
6 months, though.
And
6 months. He'll serve 6 months. This happens all the time.
All the time.
It does.
I saw a video of a man who, in front of his church, a mega church, was admitting to having inappropriate relationships with children, and he did it in such a way that made it sound like he was sorry, and everyone gave him a standing ovation and raised their hand because it felt like he was confessing his sins to them. Like, no, this is a criminal. This is a criminal. This is a flat-out criminal who should be in jail because all of you are always talking about how awful the pedophiles are, and guess what? They are. I think we could agree on that. But when it comes time, when the rubber hits the road, and the punishment needs to be doled out, people seem to run away or say he's safe.
Exactly. He's repented.
Yeah,
and it's when we forgive him.
Yeah.
If a spiritual advisor to President Biden or President Obama were in the same situation, Fox News would run this 24/7.
There would be new networks popping up on a daily basis just to talk about this.
And it wouldn't even be the fact that if they had done this, if there was the slightest of accusation, period. That's it. That's all it would take.
Yeah.
And I think that Civic Media could have its own show, its own weekend podcast show where they highlight every single week all of these individuals who are getting arrested, charged, jailed, because it's happening all the time.
And there are numerous people within the Trump orbit, maybe not in the administration, but around the Trump orbit, who have already been convicted or are accused. And if you're on Twitter and you want to follow someone who will make your head explode because she does a daily tally of men, lawyers, judges, youth pastors, youth coaches,
cops.
It's not drag queens, shockingly. No drag queens. Her name is Bex, Beks. Follow Bex on Twitter.
Yeah.
It will open your eyes in a very, very, very disturbing way. We will lighten things up, I promise. On the other side, news is coming up next. Dan Schaefer is here, so we're recombobulating. Stay close. You are listening to Matt Nair on Air. This is the Civic Media Radio Network. Good morning. Welcome back to Matt Nair on Air. Jane Matt Nair, Greg Bach, Sweet Calby on the board, coming to you from our studio at Radio Park in Racine. You can always join us, call or text at 855-752-4842. Leave a comment if you're watching on the live stream. Good morning, live stream on Facebook, YouTube, and what used to be Twitter. Dan Schaefer is here. He joins us every Friday. Author of and creator of the Recombobulation Area, also Civic Media's political editor. This is the portion of the show we call Audio Sorbet, where we like to take a breath, get away from the news, lighten things up a little bit. We can Audio Sorbet.
I wanted you to do it, but okay.
We clean your ears with fun.
There it is.
Oh, look. I like it.
That's my brother. My brother's here to do it. He's $50 an hour. He can also do your plumbing.
We clean your ears with fun during Audio Sorbet, and you wanted to talk about what people do during a bye week.
Yeah, that's right. I think we've got Packers have the week off.
Thank
and I
God.
think those of us in Wisconsin who treasure our Packer Sundays need to recognize the bye week and plan appropriately.
Plan accordingly?
Plan accordingly.
There's that 3.5 hour gap in your Sunday.
I mean, it really takes Packer Sunday. It takes over your whole day. If you're a real Packers, it kind of takes over your whole day, right? So this weekend, you got to do the things that you would normally do if there was no Packer season, like on a weekend. So I would say this is the weekend. Husbands of Wisconsin, recommend to your wife that you should go to a pumpkin patch.
Okay.
Make the recommendation on your own.
You'll be a
that
hero.
You're going to a pumpkin
You'll be a
patch.
hero.
And then she'll be so thrilled to hear that it was your idea and that you want to go.
What a husband.
And just go celebrate the charming atmosphere of a pumpkin patch in some sort of area in rural Wisconsin. Greg, what's happening?
Two things. One, I loved how you started. Husbands, recommend your wives. And I'm like, oh no, where's this going? Also, if you know me, a pumpkin patch is within the brand of Greg Bach. To be like, let's go to a pumpkin patch and drink cider and look at cornfields. Ooh.
But again, that's a great way to take up Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
It is.
It's
You're
wonderful.
going to go at some point this fall.
Yeah.
Do it this weekend while the Packers are on a bye. You can make the whole day of it. It'll be great.
Yeah. I like that one.
What are your plans for the Packer bye week? 855-752-4842. 855-75-CIVIC. That is today's Audio Sorbet question. What are your plans for this Sunday? Are you just going to have to do chores now? Is that what it's
might
going to
be
be?
part of it too.
Yeah.
That's
if you
why
do
you
have
should-
house projects, that would be another thing to do.
That's why you want to
The-
suggest the pumpkin
more
patch
suggestions
first.
for the husbands of Wisconsin.
Yeah. Suggest the pumpkin patch first. Maybe you'll get out of the chores.
That's a great name for Husbands of Wisconsin. An advice show with Dan Schaefer.
Andrew from Maine texting in, listening on WAUK. If you are bored with the Packers bye week, don't forget to cheer for the Lions.
Okay.
Well,
Why not?
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
I wasn't going to do that, but
There are Packers fans who will watch all football all day Sunday,
Oh, yeah.
even though the Packers aren't playing.
yeah.
Well, that's
so
another suggestion.
my friends at Milwaukee Record, shout out Milwaukee Record, did a list of 25 things to do during the Packers bye. And some of it is just promoting events that are happening in and around Milwaukee this weekend, like Adam Sandler playing at Fiserv Forum and things like that. Other things are just like get some hot ham and rolls as a recommendation.
That sounds good.
Go to a movie. Stop and smell the coffee.
Okay.
Do some house projects. Watch the WNBA finals.
Oh,
There's lots of different stuff. So I would check out that list for.
I got it on the
Milwaukee
show
record.
notes. I got the show
We will
notes.
include it in the show notes.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, oh God, if it's a nice, I have a garage project that needs to be done before it gets too cold. But I need a nice day out, like a non-rainy day out. Doesn't even matter if it's cold. Even if it was like in the 40s, this doesn't matter. I need to pull the cars out of the driveway and take everything out of the garage, and I need to clean the walls. It's cleaning. It's like there's stuff and the floor. I want to clean the floor. I want to power wash the floor, and I want to put everything back in a if you saw my garage right now, it is on the cusp of disaster. If I put everything to the left, we can park one car in there. Mm-hmm. I want to be able to park both cars in the winter, so I bought some really nice shelving that I can put on the walls and get stuff off the floor, throw away some paint, because apparently you can't recycle paint. You just got to throw it away. Thanks, environment. But if Sunday is nothing going on, I think that's what I need. I need to get up and just go right into the garage and start doing it.
Yep. And I think that's an important thing too, though, with chores like that.
Yeah.
Because if I'm really good at anything, it's procrastination.
Mm-hmm.
Just ask my husband. I will put off stuff I have to do for as long as humanly possible. And
So
if
do
I know
I'm bad with that,
I
too.
am. It's
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah.
And if I know I have a chore, I'll find all kinds of other things to do
Mm-hmm.
to avoid doing that chore. So I think you're really smart and get up and just go right out to the garage and start it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I have to check the news first, and I'm going to have my cup of coffee, and I'll check the news, and then I'll do that for an hour and a half. And look, I found this thing.
You went down this rabbit hole.
and
that
now,
one.
now I don't have to do my chores.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I cleaned the dishwasher. No one asked you to do that, but
But I did.
someone give me credit.
What are you going to do this Sunday while the Packers are off? 855-752-4842. What are your plans for the Packer bye week? Roger from Stevens Point, Nakusa is hosting their annual Pumpkin Fest this weekend.
There you go.
That works.
Perfect opportunity.
Liz from
See, they
Saukville.
timed it out. Nakusa knows what's up because they saw that Packers bye week. We said that's the first weekend in October.
Let's do
we
it
can
then.
sell some pumpkins.
Husbands of Wisconsin.
Liz from Saukville, Autumn Acoustics Music Festival in Newburgh.
Oh.
Beautiful venue, 5 bands, food trucks, and treats. That sounds great. And it's going to be a really nice weekend.
Okay.
I like food trucks and treats.
And
so,
treats.
you know,
And live music.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
live music. All
Absolutely.
good things.
What are you going to do for the Packers bye week? 855-752-4842. Michael from Tosa, Cusp of Disaster sounds like a band name.
And they'll be playing in half of my garage this weekend. So we wanted to. Oh, and Jarius says speakeasy scavenger hunt in Appleton this weekend. Oh, sounds like a bar crawl. Sounds like a fancy bar crawl.
Sounds like fun.
Now we got the news got heavy today. There's a lot going on. And we're in the middle of audio sorbet. We're lighting it up, and we're talking about the Packers. And earlier we talked about I would say, there's Reagan's speech at the wall, Lincoln's Gettysburg Address, and then Tommy Thompson's addressing the Green Bay fans in 1996.
When they won the Super Bowl.
We have a small clip for you all just to give you a proof of what we were talking about. Calvin, can you play the clip of former Governor Tommy Thompson addressing the good people of Green Bay and the world?
There are 30 teams, but only one Packer organization,
That word.
and that is the greatest football organization ever in America's history.
I love you, man.
We have the greatest owners, the greatest coach, the greatest players, and the greatest fans ever.
Fans.
You're gonna wipe your mouth after you hear that. You're like, oh, did I do that? Here comes one more. It's
This is America's team in America's state.
there it is.
And we,
We are an American state.
We are.
Yes, we
do you think he
are
ad-libbed that line, or do you think that was written out
state
beforehand?
in America. I think he winged the whole thing.
Guys, I don't know if you heard it, but I did a little improv in that speech. You never guessed it's America's state.
But again, Tommy Thompson was not alone in
No, I
possibly imbibing, and it was unbelievably cold that day.
It is a quintessentially Wisconsin moment to see the
Yeah.
governor of your state speak like that at Lambeau Field. I love Wisconsin.
What are you going to be doing on the Packers bye week? Dan, do you have any? Are you going to be pumpkin farming it up? Are you going to be hanging out with the fam? What do you plan on doing this Sunday?
Busy weekend for the fam. My daughter's birthday is coming up, so we got her friend's birthday party this weekend.
Gotcha.
And then her birthday's coming up next week. So
Nice.
And are you throwing a huge bash?
we're throwing a moderately sized bash. So saving the big bash for next year because it'll be her golden birthday.
Oh.
So this year she's really into Legos. So we're having a lot of Lego themed stuff this year, which I'm very excited about.
Does she have a specific kind of Lego she enjoys, or is it sort of just let's just go for it?
So she'll get into like all of the princess castles. We've built pretty much all of the Disney princess castles at our house. I think we have some new ones that she's doing. But now she's started to like not just go, whatever thing is there. She likes to just build stuff on her own. And
That's
not
awesome.
That right
guides to
there is
stuff.
amazing.
Yeah,
That right there is amazing. That's awesome. I love that.
A little architect in training.
Yeah.
That's-
She said she wants to be an engineer. She's like, I'm excited about that.
That's great.
Wow. There
Yeah.
we go. Calvin, do you have any plans for the Packer bye this weekend? Is there anything cooking up in the Butenhoff residence for just relaxing?
Well, as a surprise to no one, no, not really. We'll probably just take it easy. It is officially October, so maybe I will watch some horror movies or something.
There you go.
Oh.
Great.
What would be your first go-to horror film to get in the mood for Halloween?
To get in the mood for Halloween, that's a tough question. I don't really know. I'm not a big movie rewatcher, especially horror movies. I will say Hereditary is a very scary, very well-written movie.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right.
So you're not going back to like, I kick it off with Nightmare on Elm Street.
Mhm.
Just the classics.
Yeah.
I don't
Halloween
be mad at me, but
itself,
I've never
Friday
seen
the 13th.
I've never seen Friday the 13th, Halloween, or Nightmare on Elm Street.
I've only seen Halloween. It's because I made a deal with my wife to watch one horror movie a year, and that was 5 years ago, and I haven't watched one since. So, I got you. You're fine. Don't worry about it. Don't ever watch them. Don't watch any of those movies. They're scary.
So she's a horror movie
My
fan?
wife, she loves. Okay, my wife loves horror movies so much, but the person who loves horror movies even more is her sister. My sister Tara. Tara watches Italian, Portuguese, Spanish horror movies. She watches all of I don't even understand why. I don't understand why Tara ever became friends with me. I don't understand why my wife married me. They love horror movies, and they just have that thing. There's something in the brain, and I'm not saying it's a bad. In fact, I wish I had it. There's a little switch for me. Horror movies give me so much anxiety.
I agree.
That I cannot enjoy it. And there are people out there like, I love being scared. I'm like, I wish I could. And plus, the mythology of these movies are amazing. They're so fun, whether it's behind the scenes or the actual characters themselves. And I'm just like, I'm scared. Can I put my head on your shoulder? I'm so scared. Like at one point, we started watching Halloween. We got 5 minutes in, and my wife looked at me and goes, "Are you going to be okay?" And then I got a little insulted. I'm like, this movie was made in 1978. Okay, let's be real. And I was fine.
See, but I'm with you. I can't watch horror movies.
Yeah.
And
I don't like watching them either because it's always just like, well, yeah, don't go in that garage
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
knives.
Don't-
And
I know you heard the noise in the attic.
Yeah.
Don't go in the attic.
You all have cell phones. Call a cop.
Not going to end well for you.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because I grew up in a funeral home, and it's like, no, I have dead bodies downstairs. It's not. I don't need horror movies. We're good. We're good. We got it covered.
I don't need this as an escape. I have my
I have,
life.
yes.
Yeah.
Just go to the basement. We can find Mrs. Schmidtke down there. When we return, this shouldn't be a thing is how we're going to wrap things up. Today it is the Sock It To Me edition. Stay close. You are listening to Matt and Air on Air. This is the Civic Media Radio Network. We'll be right back.
I'm easy like Sunday morning. Yeah. That's why I'm easy. I'm easy like Sunday morning. Whoa. 'Cause I'm easy.
You're listening to Civic Media. Find the latest news, information, and archives of all your favorite shows on the Civic Media website, civicmedia.us.
Good morning and welcome back to Matt Nair on Air. Jane Matt Nair, Greg Box, Sweet Calby on the board, coming to you from our studio at Radio Park in Racine. Join us, call or text at 855-752-4842. Leave a comment if you're watching on the live stream on Facebook, YouTube, and what used to be Twitter. Just a reminder, we will have Brewers for you tomorrow on certain Civic Media stations. Brewers hosting the Cubbies. Our broadcast starts at 12:35. The first pitch goes out at 1:05. But you can listen to the game tomorrow on terrestrial radio if you're in Richland Center, WRCE, WISS in Oshkosh, WCQM Park Falls, WBZH Hayward, and here in Racine and Kenosha on WRJN. Go Brewers! Hosting the Cubbies. Our broadcast starts tomorrow at 12:35.
And this is just a message to the Cubs out there. If you want to just stop now, give up, and say, you know what, we're fine. This is a good season anyways.
It was fun.
It was great. It was all about the playing together as a team and just, the spirit of the great of America's pastime. I got you. I respect that. So if you want to quit now, gotcha. And all those people from the north side who are afraid of Chicago, stay home. You're good.
You don't have to come up here.
Yeah,
it's
the
fine.
Suburbs, schmuburbs.
Just stay in Illinois.
I hear there's like a Olive Garden where you live.
There's a lot of things going on in Northern Illinois this weekend. You don't need to come up. Coming up on the show on Monday, Civic Media News Director Shelly Pittman is going to be here to recap things from the weekend. And in hour number 2, we're going to talk about book bans, because this has not gone away.
Yeah, no.
And it's one of the numerous things that kind of gets lost in the other fire hose of news that's coming all the time. But we're going to be talking to Jackie Leiden along with several other folks, and we're also going to hear from a school psychologist about the effect this has on kids. Because that's who we're all concerned about.
Yeah.
Right? Our children.
Yep.
So we're going to talk about book bans and the ramifications of that. In some communities, they have banned the Diary of Anne Frank.
Yeah. I think what you just said was very important too. It hasn't gone away. We've just moved our attention because there's so much happening.
There's so much other stuff.
This is how they like it.
Absolutely.
When you're not looking and all of a sudden you're like, hey, where's that book? Oh, it's banned. What?
Yeah.
So Monday, 10:06.
10:06.
Yep.
Join us for that.
Please.
It is 10:55, Calvin. It is getting very late. That means it's time for...
This shouldn't be a thing.
Should you find a thing you think should not be, send it into Greg and me at Jane Says at civicmedia.us. Calvin found this from NJ.com. The headline reads, New Jersey toll cheat used socks to avoid paying $18,000. Cops say the scam stinks. The 51-year-old New Jersey man who racked up more than $18,000 in unpaid tolls was arrested a couple of weeks ago. Here's what he did.
Yeah.
He put a pair of socks and he hung them over his license plate to just block out like 2 numbers or 2 letters.
Yeah.
The 51-year-old pulled over after authority police said they noticed black socks stretched over the license plate on his white Mercedes-Benz.
Okay.
He did not have an easy pass and used the socks to dodge toll cameras. They determined he owes Port Authority over $18,000. He's been charged with theft of services, tampering with a government document, driving on a suspended license, and improper display of plates.
He's also announced he's going to run for governor of New Jersey next year. I just think it's very funny that this guy thought to himself, and I'll do the accent, hey, man, I'm just going to put some socks over my license plate. It'll work.
Yeah.
It's not like they can't look at the car, the color, the driver, the other numbers on the license itself.
Yeah, they did find him.
I just don't understand why, I would be an awesome criminal because I think of other things
about a broader scope.
Yeah, and also $18,000. So what? He went to New York 3 times, so that's how much he owes.
That's probably far
That's
off.
a cost of living joke right there.
But
That's
again,
for free.
you're driving a Mercedes Benz.
Yeah.
Maybe you can afford the tolls.
The Easy Pass. I'm not here shilling for big Easy Pass, but having one of those passes on your car makes so much sense. First of all, you get in and out cheaper. Second of all, it's always there. It replenishes your card automatically. If you drive a Mercedes Benz and you have black socks, you can afford it.
You probably can.
He was telling everyone. He was at bars saying, "You never believe what I did," and they're like,
I've never paid a toll.
You've also never paid child support, Vincent, ever.
That wraps up today's episode of
This Shouldn't Be a Thing.
You're going to try and cheat on tolls. Try maybe not socks. Maybe try something
I mean,
else.
just don't pay.
Just pay.
That's what I'm saying. All right. Let me rephrase. You should always pay your tolls, pay your fees, pay your fines, live up to the responsibilities you have. But if you're going to cheat the system, why bring socks into it? How can you think that's a mastermind idea? Good Lord.
All right. Thank you, Greg and Calvin and all of our engineers and everyone at Civic Media. Without you, nothing works. And thank you most of all for calling and for texting and for listening and watching on the live stream. It means the world. I hope you find some joy over the weekend, even if it is just a tiny little bit, and you have the chance to share it. Keep it right here. We have news coming up next, followed by Tom Hartman, who will have a keyword for you for our final day of our multi-state text to win Go for the Green and Gold contest.
Go Brewers.
Go Brewers. News is coming up next. Keep it right here on the Civic Media Radio Network. We will see you on Monday.
The national news cycle never stops, but it can be hard to find news about your local community. Civic Media is dedicated to providing quality local and state news coverage across Wisconsin. With the Civic Media app, you can get notifications about local stories that matter to you and your community. Find the free Civic Media app in your phone's app store and choose notifications from the menu to tell us what kind of news you want to hear about.